I'm Carmen.
And I'm Joe, and we are the Sexy Happy Couple. And this is Sexy Healthy Cooking.
So we're vegan, which means that we don't eat anything that comes from animals. All of our food comes from plants. And that keeps us very sexy and healthy.
And you know, we like to have a guest with us on each show who comes from the adult entertainment industry to talk a little bit about cooking and other things. And today we are privileged to have the one and only India Summer.
Hello.
Hi guys, good to see you.
You too.
Wow,
Hi
welcome.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here.
All
Yeah,
right.
well thanks for joining us.
You're cooking some interesting things today.
We are. So we like to have our theme meal based on where our talents have grown up. And India is from Iowa, and so today we are going to be making vegan pork chops and hominy with a side of green beans, mushrooms, onions, and almonds.
Which, by the way, was never happening in my house in Iowa.
Yeah, well,
But vegan was not a thing when I was
No,
growing up, so
no.
this is all very new to me.
yeah, vegan was not really a thing.
No,
when I
it
was-
wasn't.
We got two Iowa girls here because
Yes.
Carmen is also from
I
Iowa.
am.
Exactly.
So how about that?
That's
What's in the
pretty
water
special.
in Iowa? I mean,
Right.
come on. The
Good,
beauty
good
there.
things.
Yes,
Good
I think
things.
so.
All right, so I'm going to start out by making the dough for the pork chops, and the main ingredient in the dough is gluten. And so they call it, gluten comes from wheat, and so sometimes this is called wheat meat or seitan. So I have some dry ingredients and then some wet ingredients. And the dry ingredients are 1.5 cups of this wheat gluten, 3 tablespoons of onion powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of ground pepper. So I'm just going to throw that in there, and then we move on to the wet ingredients. And we're going to put those things in this blender. So in the blender already is 3/4 cup of water. And to that I am adding 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of tamari. And tamari is a gluten-free soy sauce. So you could also use soy sauce or liquid aminos. I find the tamari, especially the low sodium, to be the best flavor for our taste.
Low sodium.
And miso paste. So this is 2 tablespoons of yellow miso paste.
I always wondered what that looked like.
Right? And they make soup out of it.
Yeah, I
in
love miso
Japanese,
soup.
right, restaurants.
I didn't know where
So
that was coming
we're just
from.
gonna
Okay.
put that.
Now, what is miso?
It's a paste.
It's just
I don't really
It comes in a
know.
paste? I
It
don't
comes
know
in a
either.
paste. I mean, this I think is made out of soy, but miso
Okay,
can be
that
made
makes
out
sense.
Fermented
Other
soybean.
things.
fermented soy. That's right.
paste. Okay.
Oh.
Yep.
And then the last of the wet ingredients is 5 ounces of tofu. Now, when you get the tofu, it's really important to get extra firm tofu. I like to get the vacuum packed, not the water packed, and then to press out as much of the water as possible. So you can buy a tofu press. I just put this in some paper towels and put something heavy on top of it and let it set for about an hour. And so you can see that it is really
Extra
dry
firm,
and
yes.
crumbly. So that is this crumbly texture is really what you want it to be. So if it's otherwise, you'll have it too wet of dough, right? So I'm just gonna put that in the blender.
Yeah. Great stuff.
Good stuff.
Now, you've never had anything like this, right?
No,
Yeah.
no. I like my tofu and other random things, but
Yeah.
I've never put it in something.
Okay, turn this around.
Well, until I met this beautiful
You
woman,
had
I
me
never
there?
had it either, so.
Okay, and now I'm just gonna turn on the blender, mix this all up.
It's so quiet.
Yeah, I love my Vitamix.
Fantastic.
Well, revving it up. Now, while you're doing that, I think we need another wet ingredient, which is a little bit of wine. Would you like?
That sounds like a good
Okay,
way
that
to
I
make
can
it.
handle.
You got that?
I got this
Okay.
down.
I'll let you.
The wine. Oh yeah.
What kind do we have today?
We have a beautiful Oregon Pinot Gris.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes, and Pinot Gris and Pinot Grigio,
Yes?
same grape, different process. And we prefer the Pinot Gris over the Pinot Grigio. So
Do you know the process?
no,
Oh, it's just
it's like miso
Yeah,
paste.
it's there.
It's magic.
We drink it and it's good.
And it's good. And it's good.
All you need to
Right.
know.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. We'll India, there you go.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, glad to have you on the
Cheers.
show.
Glad to be
Okay,
here.
now.
All right.
now-
So,
You just made sure everything was liquefied,
right, just liquefied. It's kind of a
like baby
creamy, yeah, puree sort of thing. You're not going to get all of it out of the blender, but that's okay.
You'll be surprised how this ends up. Because I mean, now it looks like it's, you know, a paste.
food. Yeah.
Right?
It will end up being firm like
You can
meat.
move that out of the way, please.
I will do
So I'm going
that.
to mix this and knead this for about 2 minutes until the dough gets sort of elastic feeling, and I'll show you that.
Okay,
So,
and while you're
you know,
doing that,
Yeah.
so food,
Food.
what do you like? I mean,
I like food. That's the problem.
oh,
I like food.
okay. So anything.
I really do. And I'm down for trying most anything. I really do enjoy eating.
Oh, well, nice. So do we. And
Mhm.
Now that must get interesting with your work because you know you got
Can be a
long
problem.
days and you don't want to be all filled up. And,
Yeah, it can be a problem in all sorts of ways. So yeah, being on set a very long time, and I myself don't really like to eat before I have actual sex.
Right.
So sometimes it can be 12 hours before I've gotten to eat anything.
Oh boy.
So I really just try and sustain. Sometimes a Coca-Cola with some sugar to get me by and keep my energy up, or the nasty little Red Bulls. But yeah, and then when I'm done, I will eat anything that is in sight.
Aha.
Anything.
All right.
So, India Summer, how did you pick your name?
India Summer came about, you know, it's really hard to think about. First, you don't imagine you're going to end up doing this, right? And then second of all, you go, how do I pick a name that's not really cheesy
Yeah.
and over the top? So I'm kind of a fan of Eastern culture, so like Indian stuff in India. And I'm also a Doors fan.
Oh.
So, and I live in Iowa, and we
Right.
all know what happens in Iowa. We have Indian summers.
Right?
So, my favorite Doors song is Indian Summer.
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic
Is
song.
that the child's fragile eggshell mind, or I'm trying to remember.
No, but you'll figure it
All
out.
right. I feel. I love the door.
No, it's a kind of an obscure song.
Oh.
So
okay.
yeah, it's I can't remember which album it's on. I think it's on the Doors, but you'll find
Very
it.
nice.
It's really cute. So it's my favorite Doors song, but I didn't want to be called Indian Summer,
Right.
so I just shortened it to India Summer.
Oh,
Well, you have a
It's very
distinctive
fascinating.
name, and it is not hokey.
It's not
right.
Some of them
cheeky.
are, yeah, really kind
Yeah.
of too clever.
And I didn't want to be porn, and I didn't want to be just silly. So yeah,
Yeah.
and it's odd how you must grow into it or something,
Right.
because everyone says it's very fitting, but it's weird to pick a new name for yourself.
Yeah, it would be. Okay, so you can see how
Oh.
this dough,
And you just kneaded it.
I just kneaded it, and
Wow.
it really is, it
It's
is
elastic.
kind of like bread dough, but it's very elastic, and you want that sort of, you can see how it tears apart. You don't want it to tear too easily.
And
it
is
gives
that
it
the gluten that
that's-
gave that?
That's right.
Okay.
And then it gives it this kind of grainy texture, so I'm just gonna put it back together, and
And you
then.
didn't put any flour down or anything. you
No,
just
no
kneaded
flour,
it.
because you don't want to add any
True,
dry ingredients,
true.
because it's
Change
very specific. This making seitan is not an easy task. It can often end up rubbery or too dry, and so you need to. It's not like making a soup where it's like, oh, I'll
Yeah.
just throw a little bit of that in and it'll be great.
It's very
No,
specific.
it's very specific. So, I'm just going to roll it into a log here.
All right.
And then we're gonna make the pork chops. So this makes 6 chops. So
my.
I'm just gonna cut it into 6 fairly equal-sized pieces. Now, if you guys wanna get your hands dirty,
Yeah.
you can
Can I wash my
make
hands first?
a chop.
All right.
Getting them
So
dirty.
what
You
you do
ever
is
think
just,
you'd make a pork chop?
No.
You know,
no.
like, really make.
I'm gonna tell you, to be honest, I remember when my mother would tell me we were having pork chops for dinner, and I would say, oh boy, that might not be my favorite thing. Because you always, it's the risk of cooking a pork chop is it's dry,
it is.
there's no flavor.
That's right.
So yeah, it's a risky thing to cook. It
And
really
there's
is.
also you've got the pig. You know, the poor pig.
poor-
The
pig.
poor pig. If you
Right.
go that far, you've got the poor damn pig, for God's
Yeah.
sakes. And no one wants to think about that.
Okay, so if you wanna make it into a chop shape, You kind of squeeze it down to,
I want that little point.
that
on
little
my
point,
pinky.
so it's kind of like Africa.
Like Africa.
That's
Okay,
sorta.
I'll try.
Yeah, you get a little flatter there, Joe.
Okay.
Does not
Use the
wanna
palm.
give. Can
No,
I
see,
pull?
yes, you can
See?
pull, and that's the thing with the gluten.
Gluten.
It is very elastic, and so it kind of puts itself back into its.
It does. It keeps
own
pulling
shape.
How
away
about
from
that?
me. It's
That
like
is great.
That's good?
You want to try
Come to
another?
me.
We'll try another.
gluten.
All right.
Working
Well,
on my
I don't know
gluten.
what country or state mine came to be, but
Can you do Iowa? That would be.
Right. Make it
look
into
at that
Iowa.
one's awesome. It even has like the bone and
Right,
the thing. That's hot.
Well, yeah, I've been.
It's like a penis vein.
It is
You know, we
quite
could do
amazing.
erotic
Amazing.
shapes. That would be.
That you could, and then, but they wouldn't
Make our own pork
It's a
chops,
cooking
like-
sensation.
Where's our like pans with the penis and the ball things? We
Right.
just shove them in there.
Healthy vegan penis.
Penises.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Boobs.
And
Well, we
boobs.
could-
Boobs are
You
always
guys
Yeah.
glad you have me here
I
today?
So we're gonna put
Put some
this out. We've got a baking rack
Yeah.
Ah.
with a silicone mat
silicone.
on it.
I
And
see.
we're gonna bake these chops in a 350-degree oven.
That give you your airflow underneath.
It gives you your airflow, otherwise they could get too brown.
That's right.
You're smart.
Mhm.
And we're gonna bake them for 30 minutes.
Okay.
At what temperature?
350 degrees.
Super duper.
30 minutes, 350 degrees. All right. And I'm hearing beeping and things, and
Just ignore it.
that's the
She's got
cooking,
it.
right?
That's
Yeah.
right. It happens.
Okay, now 10 years in the industry.
Oh,
I think I
we
read,
put
or,
numbers on it.
or
Yes. It's been a minute.
it's awesome, man. I mean, that's.
Let's just say I didn't expect to make it more than a year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was 30 at the time, and I have these natural things going on,
Very gorgeous.
and I
Awesome.
have this color hair. And at that time, you watch porn and go, "This is not what's happening."
Mm.
And so yeah, I was ready to give it a year and have a blast, and here I still am, and still having a blast, but
Nice.
amazed every day.
Well, now was there a point at which you said, "I'm getting into this full time," or was it more of a
After that
transitional?
year passed and things were like actually picking up rather than slowing down, and I was still living in Iowa at the time, and I thought I might as well move to LA because I'm making so many trips.
Wow.
And so then it kind of escalates from there, you know?
So you
just
were
took
going
off.
from Iowa.
I still
out-
lived in Iowa. I actually
Oh.
kept my day job for about 2 years, and would only come out and shoot every once in a while, and then go back to my job.
And they never found out?
Not while I was there. They probably all know now if they're paying attention. But yeah.
Yeah.
So how many shoots do you do now, like a week?
Oh my gosh. At one point in time, I was shooting probably 5 to 6 times a week.
So five,
Yes,
if I
every
was 6
day.
days?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there were days, and you know what it's like when you're at work every day, and sometimes 12 hours a day. You have no time to do anything else
Right.
in your life. So that one day, or
Right,
even 2 or 3 that you might happen to get, you have everything else in your
Right.
life to do.
right.
It's crazy.
Boy.
Wow.
Well, you are popular. If you go online and look at the rankings and things, and
Which I don't.
internationally, well, you're
So I find it fascinating
one of
when
the
people
top
tell me
people
that.
in the world.
I'm so glad to hear
That
that.
is awesome. And we know why.
How
I mean,
bizarre.
Right, right.
How bizarre to
Huh.
think about, you know? When you think about where you come from and what you do now and how much that exposure, it's enormous.
Yeah.
It's enormous.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna move on to the next dish.
Yes.
Okay.
Which are
We
green
have more
beans.
things.
We do.
Okay.
Side
Let's
of
do
green beans.
sides.
All right.
Yes?
Okay, so the pork chops have finished baking. I'm gonna pull them out of the oven.
Wow.
Oh my God. They look like pork chops.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? But they're not quite done yet. There's one more step in cooking them, and that is to put them in this simmering broth. So I got this simmering broth going a little bit earlier today, and it is basically like a vegetable soup.
Smells
Yeah,
good.
it looks delicious.
So there were 3 large onions quartered, 2 carrot sticks chopped, 3 celery stalks chopped, 9 sprigs of parsley, 3 sprigs of thyme, and 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, and, oh, I forgot a very important ingredient, 2 bay leaves.
Ah.
Now, if you want a bay leaf to actually matter, then you need to have fresh bay leaves. Dry bay leaves, I don't really know what the point of those is. So
So this is like a potion.
It is like a magic
We're
pork
gonna do it.
potion.
And you
Okay.
could eat it like a soup.
You could eat it like a soup.
Okay.
It would probably be very healthy for you if you're
Yeah.
feeling like you're getting a little sick.
Exactly.
You know, just have a nice vegetable broth. And so I'm just pulling all of the big chunks out before I put the pork chops in.
Okay.
And it's, you don't have to get everything out, just the majority of it. Just want little carrots in there. All right, that's pretty good. And just strain this, pour this back in there. Now it's very important that the broth is simmering. You do not want it to be boiling. That's a little warm.
Look out.
You know when that happens.
Comes out of the oven, so we're just gonna drop these in the broth,
Okay.
and they simmer for 20 minutes. And again, do not boil, only simmer. So don't leave the pot unattended. Make sure that you watch
What
it
happens if you
very
boil?
closely. If you boil it, it really makes the texture, actually it gets spongy.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you
You
don't
don't want spongy
you don't want
pork chops.
spongy.
Nope.
So that looks like a good simmer, and I'm gonna put the lid back on that, and we will let that go for 20 minutes. Maybe a little more wine. while
Okay,
make
I
this
can
next
do that.
dish.
Coming at
Line
you.
them up, yeah.
So the next dish is just a simple green bean dish.
Okay.
And I actually make this on the grill in the summertime a lot, but today we'll just
Really?
bake it in the oven. So I've got green beans that I have French cut.
Now, these were fresh green beans or
These are
frozen?
fresh.
Okay.
I'm all about fresh.
Yes.
I try
If
not
you can't
to.
get fresh, frozen is maybe your next best
Right,
option.
but canned,
Nope.
never.
No,
right?
you never can.
Never can. So green beans and then some sliced onion, yellow onion. I try to slice it as thin as
Yes,
possible.
you did.
Because I think that's nice. And then some
Wow.
baby bella
Oh,
mushrooms.
small onions.
Throw
And
away
this is
bella.
just so pure.
This is simple.
This is
Oh, I
simple.
see. You grill it because you do the foil
That's
and then put it
right.
on the grill.
And then some
Camping tricks.
slivered almonds,
Oh.
which give it a nice crunch. And just a little bit of salt and pepper.
Sea salt, I assume.
Yes, sea salt.
Hmm.
And of course, fresh ground pepper.
Okey-dokey.
Now, are you gonna need more foil? That looks
I
like
may
it's
need some more
pretty
foil.
big.
Over the top.
All right, we get more foil.
Oh, now I get it.
Do you have it or no?
Yeah, I think we
Now,
are
you
ready
didn't
to
do
go.
any oil or
I
anything,
did not.
so, okay.
Now, before we were vegan, I would make this with little pats of butter.
Of course.
And,
Of
you know,
course.
so if you're a butter person, that's fine.
You can get vegan butter.
You
too.
can, but you don't have to have any, and the salt actually releases the moisture from the mushrooms,
yeah.
and so it has a nice steaming effect.
Nice.
So,
I
I
love
am-
cooking in packets.
right? It's so easy,
Learned it in the Bluebirds.
right? I was in Bluebird.
What? I
Ah.
love
I
this
know.
lady.
It's so
Wish you were in
cool.
my Bluebird
I
group.
know.
Bad things might.
Right?
That would
That's
be
right.
nice.
My mom would have been there. Oh, get off her.
Yeah.
Bluebirds,
But
though,
you-
I don't know
Bluebirds.
that. No.
See, how do you not tell
Because
me about
I
Bluebirds?
actually have told them about the bluebirds.
You didn't.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Right.
So,
I
bluebirds.
really.
There's brownies, there's bluebirds.
We do that.
But
Pop it
really
in the
there's
oven.
only-
All right. Well, were there any lesbian experiences in the Bluebirds?
Oh, unfortunately, not in mine.
I know. I don't think she told me anything
very,
about that.
very
That I
young.
would have remembered. I can
It's
assure
a very
you.
young group.
Yeah, the bluebirds
Oh,
are
all
young.
right. So
So it
I'm,
would've
see,
been
I don't know.
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
the bluebirds.
Yeah.
I don't know what was after bluebirds.
I've
'cause I
always
didn't
wondered
stay
myself. I didn't either.
After.
Brownies?
No,
or-
No,
that's
that's a whole
Girl
different-
Scouts.
Oh, all
It's a
right.
whole
Gaggle of
branch.
things.
Wow.
Uh,
We could get in trouble here. I don't. So.
We're going to, but anyway.
We are. So
You put this in the oven.
I put this in the oven until it's done.
350.
350, half hour or so.
Okay.
And yeah,
And we'll have green beans.
we'll have green beans at the side with our pork chops.
Okay.
and Hominy.
Is that what we're having?
That is what we're having.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
more questions.
Oh,
if-
yes,
If that's
hit me.
okay. So, in the adult industry, it seems like the scenes are kind of long sometimes, and
Mm-hmm.
boy, there's a lot of, physicality, a little bit
A lot
different
of-
from like when people like us have nice
Yes.
couples.
If you'll notice on one of my headers, I used to have that I was a sexual athlete. Because
Oh.
once you get in, you realize it is extremely physical
Sure.
and a lot of enduring of things you didn't expect.
Wow. Wow.
So do you have a other than sex exercise routine that you do?
Nope.
No? Okay.
It really had kept me fantastic for a long time.
Sure.
And as it's slowing down a little bit, yes, I'm gonna have to work in something else, but I realize as much as I was doing it, it was really enough to keep
Right,
me.
of course.
That was
So
it.
this will be the new diet craze, will be starvation and lots of sex.
That's what it was. It really was, and it worked.
The odd soda there and,
Right?
Yeah.
Very good.
A little sustainability and then rock and roll.
well, it's like what you're finding, and I know it's been a little while since you came into the business.
Yes.
Were you surprised? You know, like, because you probably have notions of what
Oh yeah.
it's going to be.
I had a completely different vision of what was going to be happening in porn, and I actually walked away from my very first scene. Well, in LA, I walked away from it because they put me in a scene. I was expecting what's the word I'm looking for? Glamour. People would provide your wardrobe, and you would be
Sure.
beautiful and whatnot. I was in a gonzo scene, which I didn't even know was really happening. I was going to be a lesbian gym teacher with my hair in a French braid, very little makeup, and at 30, you're going, that's
Not a good
not gonna
idea.
work very well. And then you're going to proceed to use strap-ons with two 18-year-old girls,
Oh.
and
You know, something that would really happen, right?
never in my life, never in my life. And I went, what are these dildos with holes on the end of them? And what am I supposed to do with that? So I cried a little, or maybe a lot, and I walked away because I
Okay.
said, someone's going to get injured, and it could be me, but it's most likely going to be an 18-year-old girl, and I just wasn't comfortable.
Right.
And it was the best thing I ever did.
Sure.
So, you know, but then there was other companies that brought it all together, and still it was a little bit different than what I expected, but, you know, I obviously found a niche that worked.
And it seems like you do a variety
I do everything,
of things, yeah.
which I
it's-
did not
it's-
expect to do.
Uh-huh.
Like especially the BDSM kind of stuff, I never thought I would be into that, but
Hmm.
finding the key people that you trust to do that kind of stuff was key, and it's fantastic. Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay, so pork chops and hominy is not pork chops and hominy without
Without hominy.
gravy. Well,
Right.
hominy.
Without
sorry.
hominy.
I was gonna say,
We got the
I
hominy.
can't wait for this hominy
But
thing.
gravy, we're
But
going the
we've got to
full.
make the gravy.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it from scratch.
We are going to make
I'm
gravy.
so excited about this.
Yeah, so that's our next step. Okay, so we're gonna make some gravy here, and the first thing you need for gravy is some roux. So I have melted in this pan 2 tablespoons of vegan butter and 2 tablespoons of olive oil.
Vegan butter.
Yeah, it's a soy-based butter you can buy in the store, although you can make it. I've not actually taken the time to make it, but you can make it out of coconut oil. And to the oil and butter, I'm going to add a quarter of a cup of flour. I'm going to whisk that, and it's going to be pretty thick. And the goal is to get it sort of brown, and when it gets that nutty flavor, that's when you know. you've
So
got a
you're
good roux.
simmering.
Yeah, it's kind of simmering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And continuous stirring.
Yes, because otherwise it will clump up and you'll have a disaster on your hands, which is what my mother usually does.
That'd be me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Gravy is a
It's
little
so tricky. I don't even
It's a
try.
little tricky.
I
Boy, and you don't want a gravy disaster.
No.
No,
It ruins the whole
especially
meal.
like a holiday.
Right.
The whole meal is done.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean,
You know,
it's
this is
great.
turned brown, so I'm gonna now add
Whoa.
in.
Your juice.
This is the 2 cups of the pork simmering liquid potion.
Okay.
Oh, the potion, that's right.
The
yeah.
roux.
So we're just gonna add that into the roux and stir it up, and we're gonna make gravy. But so you mentioned the guys or the really. I mean, if you don't have that, you're fucked
out
or
of
not
luck.
fucked, right?
Yes.
You're out of luck.
Which I've been there.
Right. So often in people who are critical of the sex industry and porn,
Yes.
they talk about how women are objectified and it's horrible and women are treated poorly.
There is that side.
And there is that side,
Yes.
right? But there's also the side that women get paid a lot more than men do, right? And men and no one
Here
ever
is-
complains about the man being objectified or.
Here is one of the very first things I ran into, yes. When I found out that the women were getting paid an enormous amount compared to the male, I was extremely offended. Extremely offended, because for me, without that, you don't have a scene. I
That's
mean,
right.
honestly, without me, you don't have a scene
Right,
either.
right,
but
right. But you're both.
I can
required.
fake an
Ex-
entire scene.
Exactly.
You cannot fake
This is true.
doing this. So you guys work extremely hard to make that happen. And so yes, it was very upsetting to me to find that out. And the beginning of your question was something else.
Well, people think that
Oh, being
women
objectified.
Are, yeah. But
Us-
no one ever complains about the men being objectified.
Exactly.
Even
Well,
though they really are.
You know, I
In
can
many ways.
only speak for myself.
Mhm.
And for me, I came into this business because I love sex. And that was the bottom line. I loved having sex, I loved being involved. So for me to come in and have a good time doing something that I liked was the easiest job you could ever have in your life. And every day I feel absolutely blessed that I'm still here. Are we objectified? Isn't everyone
Right.
in every situation in this world
At some level.
Oh,
It-
try
at
to
some-
publish a book.
at some level?
It's just,
So for me, I have to look at it in my lifespan of saying, I come in, I love what I do. If there's something that I'm asked to do that I don't want to do, I have the initiative to say, no, thank you. I mean,
Right.
and hopefully I would hope that, and that is my best advice to all girls and people that come into this industry, is say, do not do anything you don't want to do. You of course are going to feel pressure, but don't do anything you're not comfortable with. That's the best advice I can give. And at that point, have fun. This is
There you go.
a sex job, and
It's a
it's
sex
so
job.
much fun for me. So that's
Right.
what I have to say about it.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Boy.
Well, while we're having that conversation, I just
You made
added
some
a
fucking
little
gravy.
bit of
Yeah,
browning
look at that.
liquid to the
It's
gravy
looking like
because it
gravy.
just enhances the color. It doesn't really change the taste.
What is
at all.
that? It's like gravy.
It's a
master.
browning liquid
Oh, browning.
Now, why? If it's just you have a brown,
because you want it to look pretty.
so it's not necessary.
It's not necessary. It just really is just to make it look more like brown.
Now, did you already add it?
I did.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
so
were
it was
talking.
not that brown.
No, it was not that brown. It was
What
pretty
color
blonde.
was it?
It
What
was
I
pretty
missed?
blonde.
It was blonde.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
like, yeah, it was
But it's not adding flavor,
I
it's
can
not
show
adding
you.
anything.
So these
It was
are
really-
cultural norms of gravy.
cultural
So
laws.
that's-
We expect
we
brown-
want it to be
brown
brown,
gravy.
so that's what we get. Yeah.
Which I find very interesting in food techniques.
It would have been this color. So that would be a
Messy.
great chicken gravy, but it's not
Yes.
a great pork
No.
chop gravy.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
That's the potion.
That's right, that's a potion. I'm actually gonna
See,
add
I'm
a little
okay
bit
with
of
that.
ground pepper because I like ground pepper.
You like pepper, eh?
She's hot. Smoking hot.
Smoking hot.
I'm a salt fan, not a
Yeah,
pepper.
yeah.
Alright, okay.
I like salt, so, but gravy should have a little bit of pepper in it. So, all right, so there's our gravy, and we
That
have.
looks beautiful, by the way, I must say.
Thank you, and this is hominy. And
Okay, now,
hominy,
what is hominy?
Which
It's-
I've never seen in my life, I must say.
like swollen corn.
It is.
Swollen, like
I mean,
corn on
like,
Viagra.
Kind of like a swollen clit.
It's a, that is a
Oh,
clit
oh.
after Hitachi.
That's right.
Okay,
That's,
wow.
there you go. There you go.
That's it.
and
I'm all for it.
That's it.
We have simmered the pork chops, and these are the simmered pork chops. Now, after you simmer the pork chops, it's important to put them in the refrigerator for at least overnight to set the texture. So these are some
Oh.
pork chops that I actually made
Okay.
a little earlier. So I'm going to put these on the hominy. And
Did you do something to the hominy before
I took it out of the can.
it was in a can?
It's a
Okay, I
can,
didn't know
yeah.
how it came.
Yep, it comes in a
She
can.
went into the field and
Right.
picked the
The corn
honey.
and the hominy.
I'm sure
and-
somebody would do that. I don't.
But it's
Oh, but key question here. Do you guys know how to get out of the cornfield?
right.
She probably does.
You follow the row. No?
You follow the row and you continue on because the rows go like this.
Oh, sometimes, yes, you
You
have, that's
cannot-
right, you have to go through,
For
you
a guy
follow
that
the
grew
row,
up in Pennsylvania.
and then you have to cut
You-
through,
You have
because
to keep
that's
Okay.
going, because if you follow, it
It
will
will-
circle you
that's
around
right.
like a horrible
And you
maze.
need
right.
to know, what are you
And you'll be
girls
lost.
doing out there in the cornfield in Iowa?
I've only been in one once.
Oh, I had cornfields in the back of my house growing up. Every other year was corn, and so they would alternate corn and soybeans. And so we would
That
play in
makes
the
sense.
cornfields. We would actually capture fireflies. That's what we did.
Oh, fireflies. Did you break off their butts and put them in jars so
We
that your
did.
jars lit up?
Yeah, we did.
See, I go to like a porn concept.
Right.
Go, where did you go?
Right.
I grew up in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
So yeah,
So
there's
how's it
corn
corn?
there, but it's not like out
It's
your
not the
backyard.
same.
No.
No.
So this is our pork chops and hominy
Look at that.
with the gravy.
Looks like real pork chops.
Right, and everything is already cooked, so really we just need to heat it up.
Warm it up.
So I'm gonna put it in the oven for long enough to warm it up, probably about 20 minutes, and then we will be ready to eat.
Are you still at 350?
And still at 350.
Always want to know the temperature.
That's right. Okay, so this needs to bake at 350 for long enough to heat up, about 20 minutes, maybe 30. So
Uncovered.
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 And that might be long enough to watch a scene that we shot recently with India here. I'm a lucky man.
I think you should check it out.
All right.
Sure.
Yes.
All right.
So this is the last one for the day.
All right.
It's a little bit out of your price range, but I really want you guys to see this one.
Well, we're game.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. All right. You
This
weren't kidding.
is amazing.
Hooked you, didn't I?
You
Man.
did.
Go on in, check it out.
Sure.
Just, it's so wide open.
It is wide open.
Man, look at those windows. Those are amazing.
Wow. Yeah. I hope we can afford this.
Room for so many activities in there.
Amazing space.
Yeah, you were accurate. This is pretty extraordinary. I mean, location.
That is
Exactly.
key.
Check out these windows.
Yeah.
Great for
Boy.
natural lighting.
Yes.
Yeah. I can see a lot of possibilities.
I love these windows. I mean, it's great natural lighting.
It really is.
Awesome. I mean, sometimes we do a little video of our own. and
Well,
natural
that'd
light.
work out great then.
Yeah.
Why don't I show you the kitchen?
All right.
Wonderful.
Come on in. Open concept.
Yeah, I love the Ford finish.
Yeah.
It's really
I
interesting.
noticed that. Cool. Wow. A monitor.
Huh, that's fascinating.
What's up with that?
Well, the owner actually shoots movies.
Oh, really? Like right here in the house?
Yeah, it's right
Oh,
here.
that's cool.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
They're of the romantic nature.
Oh,
Even better. Yeah, we love it.
yeah.
Wow, all right.
So,
Boy, though, you said it was out of the range.
I did, but do you love it?
I love it.
You-
I love.
You haven't seen upstairs, so.
You haven't, we'll get
we
there.
gotta do that.
We will, but point is you love it. It's just a tad bit above your range, so think about it.
Well, but this kitchen, you know, this is fantastic. Look at all that
Open
space, and I
concept.
just, you know, the kitchen is probably the most important room, well, the second most important room in the house, I would say. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I gotta, maybe run a few numbers and things, but.
Well, let me show you the upstairs, and then I don't think you'll have to see much else.
All right, thank you.
Kind of different, yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my gosh. This
Location,
is
location,
Location.
right?
Just that tidbit more, you know, but look what you get.
This is, yeah, really exciting.
Wow.
Yeah?
Yes, it is.
I know, I can see us here.
I know it
Yeah,
too.
about it.
Just that little bit more, and this is what you get.
Ah, boy.
Yeah, but I know.
Right.
Just look at that. Look at that view.
And look out there.
I know, look at that view.
It's location, location, location.
Yeah, location. I guess there is.
You know, I'm totally worth it.
I think you are.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I will go downstairs. I'm gonna run through all the numbers, the finance, the whole thing. We'll see. I can't promise miracles, but if you can just hang here and let me look at it, okay?
All right.
All right, I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay, we'll be waiting.
Yeah, this is just got everything.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
It is truly amazing.
You didn't even see the bathroom.
No.
I'll tell you.
Oh my. Wow. Yeah. Well, let's see what kind of magic he can work.
I'm sure that he will. Shall we sit and wait?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they would leave it furnished for you.
That would be great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of this stuff is really spectacular and
Yeah.
seems to be pretty useful.
I was gonna say it's definitely in the used category.
Yeah. So these films,
Oh yes.
so are they like men and women?
There's that, but there's also women and women.
Oh, well, that's my favorite kind.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's funny because that happens to be my favorite kind.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think that you're right.
How about that scene?
I loved it.
Oh.
And then some. And then some.
Singular experience for yours truly. Thank you.
Times.
Wow.
Yeah, times.
I told you these Iowa girls, look out.
We know how to do things bad and good.
That's right.
And you get great sex,
Yes.
and then great food.
And then what's the third thing you need?
Wine, sleep.
Sleep.
Okay, sleep and wine. So there's 4 things you need in life. Sex, food, sleep, and wine.
That's right.
Call it a
This
day.
is why we do this show. That is wisdom.
That's why we live this life.
That's right. So we're down to, you've got 1 minute left.
Oh,
Why aren't you plating?
why aren't you
Plating.
plating? Oh my god, we're so
No,
nervous.
should we
Plate.
plate?
Why is he plating?
We can, there's not a, this is.
45 seconds.
45 seconds.
45 seconds.
Okay, I'm plating.
Okay, so
Get it
that's
plated. You've got
hominy and the
4
pork chop.
plates
Hominy
usually.
And pork chops.
They're gonna put sauce.
This is the money shot.
This is the money shot.
Look at those beans. My,
Oh my
they're
god,
probably
you
gonna
need
spill
a
out.
different utensil for that. Beans
Yeah.
really going on.
But that looks amazing.
There you go, there you go. Beans and mushrooms and what else? should we
And
need?
onions and almonds.
Yummy.
There we go.
Okay, so we got
So
that
we got
going
that.
on. We gotta get some for me, come on.
Oh yeah, there's 3 plates.
There's 3 plates.
Yeah, do hers
That's
first.
good. That's good.
Okay, use a spoon.
And a spoon.
It's crunch time.
It's crunch
It's
time.
crunch time, kids.
It is.
Okay.
Do you want me to help? I can help.
And then we'll do this. Okay, she's-
Crossing, Joe, crossing.
There we go, look at, we can do it
We
all.
cross.
Some of those things
Not
we
the
did in
greatest
that
plater, this is
scene.
not chopped.
This is not chopped. It's almost like chopped.
It's like chopped, but it's
It's
not. Those
Okay.
judges are brutal.
They are brutal.
They're like chefs and shit.
There's a lot of onions and some beans. And we.
Then time.
Wow,
Step away
From the plates.
and done.
And
looks delicious.
Yes, it
I
does.
cannot wait to,
I think we have a winner here.
I
think
think
you're
so.
right.
Yes.
and what a winner of a show. Sexy, healthy cooking with a sexy, happy couple in India summer.
Thank you so
Hope
much.
you
What
had
a
a great
fabulous
time.
day.
Oh.
Right?
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
All right.
Let's do this again sometime.
Indeed.
We will.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.